What's up, everyone? I really wanted to go over today how to, well, handle someone's hands, a model's hands, when you're taking photos, because a lot of the problem is you see a lot of people like, what do I do with my hands? Well, this should help. One of the things you should always stress to your model, to your subject, is to always keep your fingers and your hands and everything relaxed. So do the jazz hands, do whatever you want, but make sure they're loose, they're limber, they're good. So if you're trying to cross them or something like that, it's not something intense to where you see the skin type it come like kind of crunched together and everything like that. I'll cover that in a second, but something relaxed and everything, because it really looks awkward and it doesn't look that great if there's stress, if there's tension in the hands or anything like that. So keep them relaxed, keep them loose, keep them limber. Do something fun yourself, being like, One thing you can do if they're not able to have their hands relaxed, if they're always just like, if they're always like this or something like that, don't shoot the hands. You might have to do that. That might take away from something you have to do. But if something can happen, you can't stop the shoot just because, you know, the model doesn't want to cooperate or just because they can't do it. So shoot your head shots, shoot your mid shots. You don't have to include the hands. You can have them just down in front and everything like that. So that way you get your shots, you get the portraits that you want. Maybe you couldn't do the full length or anything, especially if they just couldn't grasp what you're doing. You might not be able to shoot them, so don't worry. One of the things you can also do if someone really doesn't know how to, can't get holding their hands or being relaxed or anything like that, get them to hold a prop, get them to do something. Remember that horrible photo from the Olympics? So yeah, it just gives them something to do, especially if they're into tennis, if they're in any kind of sports, or just make sure it's a prop that makes sense to the shoot. Don't give, if you're trying to do a baseball shoot or just something in general and give them a tennis racket, it doesn't make freaking sense. So get something there, they can hold a book, they can hold, they can lean on something, on a chair or something like that. It doesn't matter. So get something that they can hold in their hands. Props really do work. Just make sure it makes sense and fits the theme. Give the hands something to rest on, either it be it, there's a pole right here, so something nice to lean on there, or somewhere on the part of the body. So if you want to have them cross their arms, and I wore this long sleeve jacket just so I can kind of show you some things, but give them something to rest on, so they're not just like, well, what do I do? Give them something to do. Don't leave them there just like, I don't know what to do. So depending on your look, you can get them maybe something like this, where they're across the face and they're holding, this is a strong masculine look or something like that, or something females do or something like that. But get them to do something. So one of the huge things a lot of people say is, all right, so do this pose. And what a lot of people do, what do? You do this, and you see the way my skin's going? I'm exaggerating a little bit. It's being pushed up. When you're telling people to do a certain pose or do a certain thing, tell them to barely touch, to lightly touch whatever they're doing. So, have them do this, but have them not even really put it on their face, just resting. And that's really one of the easiest tips you could say. It's something that's going to work every time, and it doesn't look bad, because this does not look good. And the same thing for long sleeves. I'm going to pull this and I'm going to show you exactly what it is. So when you tell someone to, rest their arms, so what do? Or let me just do this. So what do? They do this. It looks scrunched up and it doesn't look good. So what should you do? Basically, once again, the same thing. Barely place it, because you see there's no tension going on right here. I'm not pushing on anything. It's just a simple, graceful rest. Probably one of the most important tips is hand placement. Not exactly where it is, but how it's angled. If you're usually shooting and you're shooting something like this, so say if it's a sports team and you're trying to represent the sports team or something like that, or if you have a jacket on, you want to go for this look, and you have your hands like this, shooting hands flat on straight is not a good thing. It doesn't look good. So what do? You shoot them from the side. So, you might see a lot of people go like this or something like that if they're wearing like a certain branded jacket. It's always shot from the side. So if, female portraiture and everything like that, sorry, I'm not as good looking as a female, but they might be holding a shirt off something like this, but their hands are always sideways. They're always angled at the side because it's flattering. It doesn't look, there's no tension there or anything like that. So keep that in mind. Hand placement is probably one of the biggest problems that a lot of photographers have, a lot of the models have when they first start out. But this is really good guidance to get you started, to get more aware of how the hands are. A lot of people say, you could do the thumbs in the pocket of like jeans or dress pants or anything like that. Well, you could do that, but it just doesn't look good. And one thing I forgot to add, and it's important, is the men love to do this. They love to clench their damn fist for some reason, so they're just standing there, something like this, or, they have it down by the side like this. Get them to loosen that up. Once again, that's going back to the relaxed everything type of thing. Get them relaxed, get the fingers loose, something nice, easy, calm. Then you can just have them just resting at the side, if anything. That's all I got. Eric Rossi, the guy with the eye. If you have any questions, let me know down below. But for hands, keep an eye out.